Welcome back to Inspired Design with Barbara Lazara of Inspired Windows. Barbara,
to be here.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you.
Thrilled to be here again.
And you just came back from a very exciting trip for you to Las Vegas. You were at the International Window Coverings Expo in Las Vegas.
Yes, it was.
But you came back with a very prestigious award. You came back with the first place in a category that's very difficult. I think it's window treatments, window coverings in combinations.
It's a combination window treatment design that I won the category in.
Wonderful. First place internationally.
First place. Mm-hmm.
You know, we hear all about the European designers and all that, and little old Addison, Barbara comes back with the first place in a category, and there were many other countries represented, correct?
Yes, Canada was represented, and the United Kingdom was represented, and I was pretty thrilled to receive first place for my design.
And this is your first time
surprised.
out?
And this was the first time I competed. So, yeah, and I was among women that have been in the business 25, 30 years that have competed year after year and won. So I was quite pleasantly surprised.
Well, we have the award that you were given here, and we have a picture of the room that you won that award for. You really got into a lot of combinations in that room. Very interesting. That is in someone's home.
Yes, that is a client of mine, and I was inspired to do that room because when the furniture had arrived, it kind of gave me a feel for new Hollywood glam. It was such a glam. The furniture was mirrored and it had rich tulip wood around it. And the corner, the headboard was a 6-foot headboard, tufted.
That is a huge headboard.
Yes, and so what would I go with that? Of course, I would want a cornice that with the same fabric as the headboard, with rhinestones.
And I don't know if they can see that in the photograph, but all that tufting, there is bling in every little
there's
tufted
rhinestones
puff.
in it.
Yeah.
And what helped win that award is that when I approached the windows, the left and right windows were uneven. Actually, the left window was a double pane window, and the right window was a single pane window.
So it was a real challenge.
Yeah. So I had to. We had to make draperies that would cover the wall to the right and to the window to the left to make it more uniformed.
A little camouflage.
Yeah, it was.
Well, you know, today, Barbara, we're going to talk about window coverings and window treatments. You know, everyone thinks your front door is the big focal point of your home. That's when you're coming in. But once you're in the home, your windows and your window treatment are really the biggest portion of your room.
Yeah, it is, because it's your vertical space. So as soon as you walk in the room, you see what is at eye level. Before you start actually looking horizontally, you look vertical. So what you have on your window does bring a lot to say about your room when you walk in it.
Well, let's go take a look at some of the ideas that you have here.
Yeah, it's okay.
If you don't mind, let's kind of walk this way so our audience can kind of see what we're talking about here. Now, first of all, I love these neutrals. This is neutral, which most people will say, oh, it's boring. Yeah. But it's not. Look at it. It's gorgeous.
Safe. It's safe. But you can do a lot with neutrals. Let's talk about the pleats right now.
Okay.
And then we'll go into the color. First of all, there are several types of pleating for draperies. This is only a small sample of how many different types of pleats that are available. And I like this because it kind of gives you an idea of which way you can go. The first one is a pencil pleat.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're referring to. It's a very fine pleat.
Right.
Okay.
And we'll go into it a little bit more. I'll just name them right now. Then this is called a tuxedo pleat, and then a box pleat, and then a Windsor pleat, a double prong pleat, a goblet, a Cartridge pleat, and then a goblet, and this is called a French pleat or a Euro pleat, and then this is your standard pleat.
And next to your standard pleat, you have this
fringing.
Fringing,
yeah.
that's adorable.
I try to bring in color where I can, because I think this is a beautiful fabric. But with the coloring, you need a pop of something.
Well, again, it's the comfortable level. I don't tend toward bright colors in my home because I'm always afraid I'm going to make a mistake, and then you have to live with it, and it's a very pricey mistake to have to live with. So you don't want to make those mistakes. That's why we hire people like you.
And that's it, Lucille. People, when it comes to decorating their home and their big ticket items, they're actually afraid to make forward.
Oh, I am very afraid.
So what they do in turn is they'll go to the store and buy a drapery, hang it on their window, live with it for a while, and be not pleased with it because it wasn't what they envisioned. They just didn't go to the next step. They're afraid of color. They're afraid of texture. What do I do? Where do I go with this? What length do I need? What kind of rod do I need?
See, and there's another thing. Yeah, this is simple. This is easy.
Right.
You put a little bling at the end of it, but sometimes you don't need a cornice or a rod. You need a rod, something different.
Yeah, you do. You need a rod, and that's a lot for people, I think, to know.
And drilling holes in their wall, and it's like, oh, if I make a mistake,
and you don't make a mistake, and then once you have custom drapery and you don't like it, then what do you do with it?
Exactly.
So that's why I think it's important to hire a professional who knows what they're doing, because first of all, we stand behind our product and we actually partner with our client every step of the way. So you are confident about what you chose, and I am confident about orchestrating it and implementing it.
And sometimes it takes somebody with an eye for design, an eye for color. We all don't have that gift. It's a talent and it's a gift. I mean, I would never thought to put blue with the beige. Look at how nice that looks.
Yes, and again, this is the neutral color. You know, and with many different types of pleats, but the blues here, aren't they pretty with the beige?
Yeah, it's very different.
Bring in, you know, this could be your drapery, this could be a valance, a pillow, any fabric treatment around. You can pull all these together and then make this the pillow, this fabric the pillow.
And then look down here, you have something, again, completely different. This is really adorable. This is... Would you put that on a cornice or a pillow?
Well, you could actually make a drapery treatment out of it. This would be the top of the drapery treatment, and then you would have a drape coming out the bottom. You can make bedding with this.
Really?
Pillows, nursery items. It's just endless. It's just another technique that is just beautiful, and if you choose the right fabric with it, it just pops.
I would have never
it's just
that would make
beautiful.
A great headboard even.
It is. So let's talk about the pleats. Okay, I'm just going to pull out a few here that are different and unique that you don't see a lot of. I'm going to talk about the pencil pleat. What makes this unique and what is really pretty is that you get pretty soft folds, but it's a very tight gather. It cinches the fabric together. So it's very tight gather. So if you put these next to each other, it's a very tight gather. So maybe there's 2 or 3 inches between them. There's not a big gap.
It's got more like
it's almost
flatter flow.
Right, and it's real straight, real tailored, and real thin. Then we're going to talk about the box plate. This is more common.
Yeah, you see that quite a bit.
This is real pretty. And what's pretty about this is you can put accessories on it.
I can see Barbara putting a bling on that.
You can. Actually, you can. Or you can put a real pretty button. Okay. You know, you can do it so many ways. And then you have the goblet plate, which is very pretty.
And again, this is something that you see quite a bit of. The goblet.
Yeah, it is. It's very dressy, very tailored. Really pretty.
Kind of formal.
It is formal. And you can do it with a stiffer fabric such as this, or even a thinner fabric. So it's pretty a medium weight fabric, I should say, that would go with this. Then you have your European or your French plate, which is nice. It's tight at the top and
That's
flares.
That's different. I've not seen that before.
And flares. And then your standard plate. Most people are familiar with this. This is what you'd find in the store.
I was going to say, you'll find this in the catalogs. You'll see this in the store.
Yes,
I mean, you can see this
standard plate.
Yeah.
And that's another advantage that you have with working with a decorator is because I can expose you to all the different types of plates rather than having the same old, same old.
Different pleats. Different ways of hanging things.
Yes.
I think we saw that in the photograph with your award.
Yes.
It's just a little different, and it balances the room that was
and
not balanced.
That is another important consideration, is because of what is going on in your room. These should magnify what's going on. It shouldn't clash. So if you have all French provincial silk furniture, you're not going to go with this type of weight of fabric. You're going to use something thinner, something more flowing. Although you can go bold, you just have to watch your different variations of weights of fabric.
Well, what do people start with first?
Well,
when you're going into a room.
When I walk into a room, I overlook the whole room to see where do we begin. Then I try to, most people go with neutral furniture.
We're comfortable with that.
Yeah, we're comfortable
with that.
So what I try to do then, if I'm talking draperies, okay, what's going to bring in a pop? What's going to make it interesting? And then I look at the overall design and talk to my clients, see what's going on, and then we move from there. I start showing fabric. I do a lot of pre-screening, and that's really important in what I do. So I'll call you up and I'll say, okay, what are your absolute hate colors? What are your favorite colors? What colors? Send me pictures of your room. With technology today, it's really easy to see. Yeah. I can prepare way before I go into a room. So that makes my job easier. And also I'm being more targeted and more spot on to what I see going on in your room. The fabrics I think would work well in your room. And of course,
and the combinations. I mean,
yeah, and my clients have the last word.
I would have never put stripe and print.
No, see,
I would have been
afraid
of that, and yet it looks really great
together. And what
together.
I really love about this, of course, it all coordinates with the top drapery. And what I like about this works with this and with this, but I don't think I would like any of them separately.
And even this, I mean, we've
Isn't
got
that beautiful?
multiple
patterns. And the thing with working with multiple patterns is you have to have the same color scheme going. So that's really important. And then you can have a solid. A solid always picks up your colors, always. And then you would, of course, I'd want to add trim.
And there's Barbara with the bling again.
Yes, I love the trim. And I pretty well try to orchestrate that in everything I do, unless my client, of course, is not into that. And there's quite a few people who are really not. But I think it's just putting jewelry. On your treatment.
It's accessorizing your outfit.
It is.
Accessorizing your outfit.
It is.
Now you have a lot of samples here and a lot of combinations that I would be afraid of. I mean, I'm very fearful of color, though I love color. But
and I kind of wanted to show also the different types of fabric and how we can work this all together. You know, here you have a beautiful rust color, along with, and we can pick it up.
Can we pick this up?
Sure.
Okay. So you have, along with what?
Along with a gold pattern, and then we actually compare it with a solid.
So you've got your combinations here.
Yes, and I always try to ground everything with a solid somewhere, whether it be in a pillow or a table accent. Somewhere I try to put a solid just to rest your eye.
So you've got the solids in your prints, and that makes the solids pop.
And now we're talking about also the trims. And trims are very important in design because it's a different element that brings in different color combination, a different texture look. You know, you can go with sparkle. You can go just with a trim.
Well, and you have, I mean, there's multiple colors, but they all would go with that neutral.
Yes. Yeah.
The basic neutral.
They do. They do. And it just brings another element of color in. And then we're talking about your safe browns. And what I'd like to show about that, look at the color we're introducing into it. We're introducing a beautiful green.
With the brown.
With the brown. Your safe brown. So this green is a very workable color too, because you can, now you're introducing a new color into your scheme. And by introducing a new color into your scheme, you can bring in pillows. You can make this a header, a topper, or a valance, a cornice.
And if you get tired of the pillows, you can redo pillows easily. And
or you could do double-sided pillows. You can do solid on one side and pattern on the other.
Okay.
And then complement it with a real pretty fringe, you know, that goes around the pillow, or tassels, or
bling.
Trim. I'll say bling.
Accessorizing
That's
bling.
my favorite word is bling. I love to bling. Okay, and now we're talking neutrals. Again, it's very safe, very safe color combination. But here's another color combination. You have texture on texture. This has a satin feel along with a matted feel. You can bring in a matted pillow, back of a pillow, introduce a new color, and then you could add this type of metal look if you were going to add, again, texture to the program.
Okay, now, these would be for draperies, and you could put that with, I see you have brown. So, so if you had your neutral furniture, brown or black furniture, you can put those too.
Absolutely. You can incorporate colors. You can bring in other colors of the room that you want to say. Sometimes when there's a small color going around the room, whether it be in a picture or a tablecloth, there might be a small color that you like. You can actually bring it out by bringing it out in a pillow, bringing it out in a drapery, you know, and keeping it safe.
Just and keeping it safe. There's I'm the safe person. Now you have an absolutely gorgeous fabric.
Yes,
over
let's
here.
take a look at it.
This is a beautiful fabric. Let's hold that up to the camera because I think that's really.
And actually, I added a complemented texture fabric with it. This fabric is a medium weight again. It would make a beautiful drapery treatment. It would make a beautiful bedding, beautiful bedspread, or anything type of accessory for the bed. And then I have this beautiful, it's a textured, heavier weight snake print fabric. There's a beautiful accent to this, all the colors that are going on in this pattern.
What colors would you put that with? Could you use that, say, with, I'm just saying,
greens,
browns or tans?
What color do you want dominant in your room? You know, you could pull out every single color in here. Let's say you like the salmon or the light rust, the bronzy color, or even the bronze background. There's greens, golds.
See, because and you don't see. To me, I would probably put it with a beige because I'm neutral.
Yeah,
but you could, but then it would make the room pop.
But that's the nice part about this is that the background is pretty neutral for the forefront of all the colors. So. And that is pretty also.
See, I want to talk about something else. That's something I really think we need to talk about, but not just yet.
Okay.
There's another fabric
It's gorgeous.
That's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. This fabric, for all the viewing audience, I want to show.
I thought that was like a grayish.
It's actually an embroidered fabric, and the fabric has greens in it and like a gold, an antique gold, and this is actually a graphite that kind of owns a plum color. So with that, you have the beige background. There is so much that you can work with to bring out other colors in it. So you can bring out your grays and your golds in the trim, and these trims are gorgeous. I'm going to hold up the trims.
Hold up the trims because they really are different.
They are beautiful.
And when you talk about a trim, I don't think we think about that type of trim.
There is braids. These are actually glass balls. And then there's ribbon trims. And the braids are beautiful. Look, they can make beautiful tie backs. All colors and shapes. There's more on the inside. You can see that we have the ones that teardrop. Look at the beautiful colors. And this can take a plain fabric and make it into...
So you can make your room sparkle.
Yep.
You can make your room actually sparkle with just a little bit of...
Just a little bit. This is like the frosting on the cake.
Now...
So it is beautiful.
You had something else in your hand before that I said I didn't want to talk about right away.
And I'm going to come back to the storyboard because I kind of had demonstrated over here.
Be careful.
Okay, I left this like this for a reason. This has what they call blackout lining. And the blackout lining, what it does is it keeps the integrity of the color of the fabric. If I didn't have this blackout lining, or I'm going to even show it here. Maybe I'll just take it off.
Here, I'll hold it.
And we had what we would call a light filtering lining. You can see that it changes the color.
It makes it darker.
Yes, it does.
It makes it
So
darker.
with most of the drapery treatments, there's very few that you would not use blackout lining. And what I love about blackout lining today is it comes in a myriad of colors. And this is just a small sample of what I carry.
So even the white is a blackout lining?
They're all blackout linings.
Oh.
They're all blackout linings. So, such as...
It would probably also help with the fading.
This has the same color. So from the outside, it actually looks like a drape. rather than you seeing just the white.
But wouldn't it also help from preventing fading of the fabric, from sun fading?
Absolutely. It does protect your fabric. It does protect your fabric. It keeps its color integrity. It stops the light from coming in. So it gives you a sense of warmth in the summer, keeps the heat out. It keeps the heat out in the summer, and in the winter it keeps the drafts out. Yeah, there's lining, and that's another thing that you actually appreciate somebody in my business for, is because you really don't get this from a store. People.
No, because you're picking it out in the store, but when you get it to your home is a lot different than the store. The lighting is different, everything is different.
And people don't talk about linings.
We want to talk about a couple of things, and we've only got a few minutes left. Now, you did show other rods. You don't need a rod.
Yes. Actually, today in the drapery industry, there are so many types of draperies, top treatments, and cornices, and it goes on forever. It just keeps going on. We only talked about drapery today and the possibilities you can do with trim and fabric. So I'm going to touch a little bit on rods because I'm doing drapery. Rods could be one of the most beautiful parts of your whole treatment.
Okay.
So with your drapery treatments, you can go very ornate, or you don't need a rod at all.
That's what I was just going to say.
You can use a medallion. And the medallions, what they would do is hold the fabric from the bottom. And it's just another beautiful. And you would use several. Of course, you wouldn't use just one.
And it depends on the size of the window.
Right. So the minimum you would use would be 5, I would think.
Okay, but then you just drape your fabric.
And then you drape your fabric. It's a specific treatment that works well with this. I just thought this would be a nice element to talk about, because generally people don't know, again,
that you don't need a rod.
They don't need a rod.
Well, I want to say one thing. You could all come and talk to Barbara.
Yes.
At our Home Expo that is coming up very soon, actually. Our Home Expo is coming up on Saturday, February 7th and February 14th. It's here at the Village Hall from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Barbara is going to be one of the exhibitors at that expo. And
so come and talk to me.
Come and talk to her. Bring her a photograph of the room you want her to talk to you about.
Yes, I'd love to talk to you about it.
So she will be here on February 7th and February 14th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Stop in and see us all at the Village of Addison's first Home Expo, and stop by to say hello to Barbara Lazara of Inspired Windows.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for today, Lucille.
This is fun. This is interesting.
I enjoy it. This is like the heartbeat of my business.
Well, I love it. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you for joining me. I'm Lucille Zucchero for Addison Community Television.
Thank you.